I got to say this. Vince McMahon, his company, Pat Patterson. I don't know if you know that name or not, but Pat Patterson was there from. I was there in the mid '70s, and Pat Patterson was a major part of the office then. And I can't say after '94 how much part of the office he was, but I know he was the office until then, and he had a real weird sense of humor. And you gotta blame the whole barber thing probably on Pat Patterson. Because that probably wouldn't have ever happened except for his sick sense of humor and his whole deal, because his boyfriend that he lived with, his name was Louis. Louis was a hairdresser, hair cutter. Louis hung himself in his apartment in Connecticut. They found him hanging. And Pat and Louis were, together for, 25 years or something like that. And the whole barber gimmick stemmed from, we did an angle, we did this and with that, but nobody's ever done a barber thing in the wrestling business. A haircut match is something you did maybe once in a year, once, in a career or something, I don't know. Guys, when they used to leave a territory, sometimes they do a haircut match, but it didn't really mean anything. But
you were given the name the barber after that. Yeah, I mean, the barber shop, the whole deal. It was committed, and that was Pat.
And that was a Pat Patterson thought up deal. Brutus Beefcake came into WWE in late '83, '84. And that's a whole story in itself too. And Brutus was red hot.
Did the barber gimmick, when you adopted the barber personality, wasn't that different from the regular Brutus? They just added the cutting and strutting thing. Well, you're strutting already, but they added the cutting. Did that add to that popularity, you think, or do you think it watered down the edginess of the original Beefcake concept?
Well, it was a whole different deal. Brutus Beefcake was like a male stripper. It was the Beefcake was boom, the strut, the thing, the outfits. I took it to a level that never anybody even imagined. With the clothes, with the outfits, with the bow tie, with the armbands, with the things on my legs, and the thing. All kind of stuff that had never been done before. And then and the barber thing came out of left field because I had no clue they were going to do that. And I came back to WrestleMania. Right after WrestleMania, we had TV in Rochester, New York, in the War Memorial there in Rochester, an old crappy building. And we all showed up, and they handed me this white, coat and a pair of scissors and a comb. And they said, "Now you're the barber."
And you say what?
And I said, "Fuck you." What do you mean I'm the barber? What are you talking about? I'm the barber. And they didn't have an answer. They didn't have a fucking clue what this meant. Where are we going with this? What are we going to do with this? There was nothing. And I just spent 2.5 years making Brutus Beefcake the hottest thing since sliced bread. A household word. Everybody hated me. They loved to hate me. Brutus Beefcake was a freaking heel that was a real heel, old style school heel. Now I'm the barber? What is a barber?
But you got it over. How'd you do it?
Man, this is the story that nobody knows because I went ballistic. crazy. I went nuts. I was in the dressing room, in a room, kicking the lockers, smashing stuff, saying I quit. This is you're giving it to me right up the fucking keister with this. This ain't right. How can you do this? Why
Who
were
are you saying this to, Pat?
To the office
anybody,
people?
yeah.
Why would you change something that's super red, white hot, working? Why would you change something that's that good? Change it. Why would they? Why? Pat Patterson.
Was he trying to fuck you, or did he?
It was.
Really?
That was a direct. Because me and Hulkster are friends. Grew up together. Started in the business together. We're brothers. Tag teams in the business together, completely. And he couldn't do anything for Hulkster, but I was the younger fucking brother here thing, the kid brother thing, since I wasn't really his brother.
So I'll push your brother around because I can't push you around.
That's right. And
why
like,
do you want to push Hogan?
You're jealous. Jealousy is a mother.
So right after that, though, is that what Pat was doing to Terry Taylor, you think, with the rooster?
See, Pat,
and why not call him the cock?
Well,
if you're Pat Patterson, it's a rooster,
you
it's
think
a cock.
So. Well, that's the whole deal with him. It's about subtleties.
Gotcha.
It's about with them. They let see where things will fall. Mm-hmm. How you're going to deal with it. What are you going to do?
There's a guy who's worked in this company a long time, eh?
Yeah, the brawler.
The floor is yours. That's a long tenure with that company.
Is he still with them? No, I don't
probably.
Is he?
He was for a long, in some capacity, yeah. What can you tell us about Steve?
I never witnessed anything physically. But I heard a lot of stuff.
It's all about subtleties.
Well, I heard.
You said, the subtleties.
What do you really know? I never witnessed anything with Steve, and he was a good guy to me. He was always nice to me. He took care of me, and But some of the things that I heard about, through the years about Steve and in the office and things, it makes you wonder. Really, wow, what's really going on? What's really going on? But he was a good guy. He worked hard. He put guys over. He did his job. He did what he had to do, and God bless him.
Do we wave the Pat Patterson flag here again, perhaps?
Yeah. Oh, big time. That's all genius. That whole deal. Oh yeah.
How do you think Lanny did with having been given that genius role? Kind of effeminate behavior in the ring.
Yeah. I'm never really sure about him. He's okay. He's a decent guy. I still work with him. To this day, I was recently with him at a show in Niagara Falls and stuff, and we still talk about some of those days. Here's a perfect Pat Patterson for you. WrestleMania, whatever, I think it was 7. What was that?
Los Angeles?
7
Los Angeles?
The Dome in Toronto.
Sky Dome.
I ended perfect record. Mm-hmm. Beat Perfect. Lanny Leaping, the genius was his manager.
Right.
They didn't tell him that I was going to cut his hair after the match. So after the match, thing's over, boom, 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 Perfect rolls out. I go and grab him. He's like panicking to get away from me. And I'm like panicking to get him back because this is what's, this is WrestleMania, all right? This is what this is what we're supposed to do, and thing, and he's running away. He's trying to, with everything he's got, to get out of the ring, and I'm trying to get him back, and I've literally physically dragged him back into the ring and cut his hair, and then Randy basically attacked me in the dressing room after the match, and said, because Lanny, he was crying because I cut his hair, literally crying, and Randy attacked me and says, "What you do?" I go, "Don't jump me. Go talk to your boy Pat Patterson, who set the finish up, who's ribbing your brother, and then tell him that that's the finish. He's gonna, because Perfect is losing in WrestleMania and slips out, but the Genius gets his haircut. Somebody's got to get their haircut.
Right.
And so the Genius is the next in line. Bang, there he is. And they didn't tell him.
Did Pat support your story afterwards, though, when Randy went?
No.
Wow, really?
I don't.
The younger brother,
I
right?
didn't
The younger
care.
brother.
I didn't care. I was like, Randy, do what you got to do. You want to fight? Let's fight. I don't care. But don't mistake this for being my fault, because it ain't.
Right.
Go find Pat Patterson, because he's the guy that calls the finishes,
right,
not me.
Was he a trained wrestler prior to being a referee, or did they just gas him up and?
He was trained. Danny never was that great, really great wrestler. He wasn't a great referee either. He was.
So who did he know? Was he French Canadian?
I don't know. That's a Pat Patterson. No, really. I mean, seriously. That's just another Pat Patterson.
Oh, make the referee a wrestler, and yeah.
Some complete off the wall bullshit. Like, okay, there's a Pat Patterson. If you literally look closely between the lines throughout the years, you'll see him all over the place.
How much of the success of WWF, let's see if we can give a little shine to Pat now. So we've been riding him the whole time. Well, I got to watch how I say that. Riding Pat Patterson. How much of the success of the 80s would you give him credit for, his decisions, his using talent the right way?
He's a great, he has great vision. He was a great talent in the business. Him and Ray Stevens were a tag team,
but when he had the
back
pencil,
in the early days, when he had good ideas, he had bad ideas, just like anybody else. He was in a position but he was in a great position to make things happen.
That's a high. Hogan's what, 302 or 310 about this time, right?
300.
This is a real high risk spot for him. I don't ever recall him doing anything like this before. Do you remember the significance of this, or why they had him?
I do. I don't.
And
remember.
Boss Man, who's also probably 300 pounds, right? At least.
Yeah. As far as why they did that, I don't think it was Hulk's idea. If anything, that was a Pat Patterson.
To do the spot.
He had me take a superplex from a Dynamite Kid standing on a ring post in Montreal, in the Maple Leaf Garden in Toronto. Double juice, where all four of us are juiced in a tag match, me and Greg with the belts, and he has Dynamite Kid superplex me standing on the top rope. That's the finish. And he's telling me, don't worry about it. It's no problem. It's easy. I told him, you know what I told him? You fucking do it then. Go.
Are we going to wave the Patterson flag again? Polka dots? We're talking polka dots.
There you
right?
go. That's really. Then now you're gonna look at our business throughout the years and see a whole new thing. going to see Pat Patterson flags popping up all over the place where you didn't see them before now.
He made it work, though, Dusty, to his credit. I think you could have put Dusty you dressed as a donkey, and a big fat donkey, and he would have made it work.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that really worked. But
You didn't think so?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is Savage there too, or okay? So the four of you are working.
Yeah, Sherry,
is
everybody's
Vince
there.
to
No,
walk you through
no.
what he wants?
No.
Pat.
No.
So creatively, you guys are making up a
Hogan
match on
took
your
it.
own.
Hogan ran the company.
Okay. And so he could see he had the power, obviously, to say to Vince, "We're going to work this out.
This is what we're
I'll make
doing,
sure
yeah.
it works."
Yeah, Vince might say, this is creatively, here's what we want. And then Hulk said, okay, fine. Here's what we're going to do. Right. And we'll make all this work.
And at no point, Pat Patterson walks in and says, could you wear a chicken head?
No. Because we would have flushed him down the toilet. Right? There's another Pat Patterson for you. You know, the Macho King. Well, look at Duggan. Same thing. They had him. He was at the board, the crown. He used to make joke about all the time. I got the board, the crown, the bing, the boom, the bang. The same with Randy. 10 gimmicks. You know, renaming him and redoing that.
Did Savage care, or would he have done pretty much anything?
He would do whatever they said, but yeah, he cared. He didn't want to do that.
Really? Okay.
No.
Did you feel it devalued him a little?
I really didn't. It was unnecessary. It was just, why? I don't know. That's a big question. Why? What? Just because you can? That's the only reason they did some things. Because you can do it. I guess I don't know. Is that a good reason to do it? I don't think so. But there's a Pat Patterson, another Pat Patterson. How many times have we
waving that flag? We should have got a little thing to put here.
Oh, there's a million of them. There's a Pat Patterson, another Pat Patterson. And Rick's a good guy. I love Rick. We worked together so many times. He's a great hand. He's a great guy, and he's another guy. He takes it in stride. Just like me, turn a negative into a positive. And he worked, did the best he could with what he had to do, and made the model thing work. And it wasn't something he really needed to do or wanted to do. But, with these people, you're stuck with it. Once you own it, then.
Why would he have been the choice for the model? Is he fashionable in life? Is he well-dressed?
Well, Rick was well-dressed. I mean, I guess, French-Canadian. He lives in Quebec, but, no, I don't know. I don't know. It's just another Pat Patterson.